right? Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
To the elect of the nation of Israel. Before we get started, we want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone, the lead teacher rule well. Love and honors to you, I can push the word in true faith and sincerity across the four corners. Shalom to you, sincere listeners who listen and subscribe to the men Dr. Great Millstone. I'm the brother Yadai, with the brother Adnan from GMS Atlanta Church. We're just going to do another lesson through the Spirit. We're going to go into connecting this so-called coronavirus situation or outbreak, and how really the elites of Esau Edom, we just perceiving through the Spirit, are really using this as a way to prop up the U.S. economy, and also using this as a way to put money into certain companies and industries, like I said, to prop them up, keep the so-called economy going. Okay, and also use this as an opportunity to continue to invest and push forward certain infrastructures to continue to build out their so-called New World Order system. A major part or component of that we understand here at Great Millstone to be the prophecy of the mark of the beast, written in Revelation 13 and 14, which we know and understand to be the RFID microchip. I have an article here. We're going to go into the article and take it from there. Let's see. All right, so I think I messed up. There we go. All right, so this is from the Washington Post. And this is from today, March 24th, 2020, the year of prophecy. It's from, once again, the WashingtonPost.com. It says, Congress, this is the title of the article. It says, Congress, White House closed in on $2 trillion stimulus deal to blunt coronavirus fallout. In the subtitle, it says, McConnell, Schumer, Pelosi, Mnuchin all voice optimism that giant spending bill is within reach. And see, and this is one thing too you have to keep an eye out for, look out for too, is when these factions or these sides, really they're two sides of the same coin, so to speak. You know, the so-called Democratic and the so-called Republican Party. When you see them on polar opposites, meaning that they're either completely disagreeing about something or they're completely agreeing about something. Best believe that there's something on a deeper level that's happening, that's occurring, and this is a situation in which here it is. Really, you can go back to 9/11. Really, the country really hasn't been unified under one leader. Really, going back until 9/11, and even with that. The only reason that happened was the so-called terrorist attack. You know what I'm saying? After Baby Bush, you had Barack Obama, in which the country was still polarized and divided. You had Trump, in which even then the country was still polarized and was still divided. And you had the parties that went along with these guys that you can go before Bush. You can go into Clinton, in which the country was more unified during Clinton, per se, but that's because the economy was booming. So when everybody's making money, don't nobody really give a damn for real. Ain't nobody looking into the details of the situation. But even with his administration, the country really wasn't under one umbrella, so to speak. It was still divisions within the Democratic and Republican Party. I know at one point Newt Gingrich was he was a majority of the House of the Senate, but that's neither here nor there. But really, just going into how when you see these two sides of the political factions either completely opposed against each other or like just too eerily connected, that's when your antennas got to be up, man. You got to really focus in and hone in on the deeper moves that are being made versus what the average person sees with the naked eye. You got something?
I got something. This is Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and had had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. That goes into what the brother was saying. These Democrats and Republicans, they speak sweet things, but it's not in the best health of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man, because they're all in the same game. All right, it could be, you gotta take these Democrats and Republicans as Crips and Bloods in a street form, but they all get together at the end of the day. All right, so you can't be deterred by the speech. A lot of our people are into the Democratic speech, the rhetoric, but there's some jakes that are into the Republicans. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. They keep you trapped up in this American society, and they're not, the Republicans or Democrats are not telling you you're the Hebrew Israelites, you're your God's chosen people. They're keeping you, they keep you in this chosen, keep you in this bond, because the scriptures say a gift destroyeth the heart. So whatever they throw at you, Democrats like throw out the goodies at you, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Republicans are more of a private sector. All right, it's at the end of the day, it's to your detriment.
That's very true too. Point that the brother made, build upon the point that the brother made. They be on the same they're working with on the same team, so to speak. Because at the end of the day, what really controls the American government. Now, of course, you have the elites who control the American government, but they really control the American government through the corporations and through these lobbyists. That's really the main way that the elites, because it's too many people. Like, you got to think about what it's 100 people in the Senate, 450 something people, something like that in the House. They spread all over the country. You know what I'm saying? It's too many people, too many situations. You have a family situation. If say it's a man or a woman in the Senate or the House, and their spouse is sick. You know what I'm saying? Like that one situation could sway their whole judgment on a course of a matter. But the elites really impose their will and get their will done through these corporations, because they're just greasing each other's pockets, man. And that's one thing too. Like the brother speak about them goodies. They on the same page now. They're like, listen, man, we finna cut a big check, man. We finna cut a $2 trillion check. Y'all gonna eat, we gonna eat. The Americans gonna feel good. We're gonna cut them a check. The lobbyists, is just working overtime right now, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep going so we don't be too long-winded. Going to the article. It says Congress and the Trump administration on Tuesday closed in on a massive $2 trillion stimulus package to address economic fallout from the coronavirus, as lawmakers review final language and the Senate aim for a swift vote. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and I've been watching this too, man. Like, and the article, I believe, touches it, if I had the same article. When they first were bringing this package out, it was like $1 trillion. Then it went from like $1 trillion, well, really it was a little less than $1 trillion. It was like between like 750 billion and like 900 billion. Then it was like, they hit $1 trillion. Then it went to like 1.2, 1.3 trillion.
Yeah.
Now it's at $2 trillion.
Yeah. And
that's one reason in which, I saw a little bit of the Senate discussion a couple of days ago. That's one of the reasons too in which they trying to cram it through, because they start off on a certain number, and they testing the mindset and mentality of the American people. They start off with a certain number, and then the people they didn't buck up against it, so they went up a little bit more. They didn't buck up against it, and then he saw with his exceptions like, oh yeah, and this we gonna make sure we cut the American people a check directly too. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody buck up against it. So then before they actually finalize it and like brought it to a vote, they ballooned it to $2 trillion, man. That's why ain't nobody trying to ruffle no feathers. They're just like, listen, we got this, we put it in the mass media. Ain't nobody saying nothing against it. Everybody feels as if they need it now. How we gonna divide this pie up, man? You got something?
I got something. You can break it down. This is Habakkuk 2:6. Should not all these things take up a parable against him, and a taunting?
Nah, it started like 3 or 4.
Start from 3. Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
And that's the exact time we're in right now, man. Okay, the vision was written for an appointed time, in which even this system closely mimics the Roman system of past, but the so-called American forefathers tried to use their knowledge of the history of what brought down that empire and tried to construct and write down certain legislation to where it would prevent that from happening in this go around. But the thing about it is, it's all through the plan of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Because now you have, you damn near have 50 plus, counting the provinces and territories, you got 50 plus different states under one umbrella. You got damn near two sets of laws. You got federal laws, you got state laws, then you got all these local municipalities, and it's too much varying degrees of opinion to get everybody on the same page, on the same accord, to keep this society going forward, man. Go ahead.
Continuing on, it says, Habakkuk 2 in verse 4, Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
So the soul that's in these Edomites, man, is not upright, man. All right, it's not. Like you've seen it. Us being here in 2020. We have the ability to look back over the last 400 or 500 some odd years of what these devils been doing to our people, man. Right. Okay, beginning with before the Southern Kingdom was even brought over here on cargo slave ships, beginning with the way they rape, rob, and pillage this land of America, the Americas, okay, and the way they treated our brethren on this side, man. You know, and it's clear to see that their soul is not upright in them. So with that history that the nation of Edom, the so-called white race, is portrayed, you will be out of your marbles, man. You have some screws loose to expect anything other than what they've already been doing, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 5, Yea also, because he transgresses about wine, he is a proud man.
Transgresses about wine, in which even this currency system is just it's falsified, man. That's why they have no problem just going to the Federal Reserve and just saying, just print $2 trillion.
Right.
Okay, and a part of that's going to go, as they say to the American people, part of that's going to go to really to the Federal Reserve, for them to just have some money on reserves for some more shit coming down the pipe. Part of that's going to businesses and companies, large, medium, small businesses. Part of that's going to certain industries like airlines and hotels. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that they feel are vital, because the thing about it is, even though this coronavirus may be blown out of proportion and it does kind of seem, just trying our best to, decipher through the spirit, that it does seem to be, to an extent, blown out of proportion. The moves that they're using to on the back end of this to utilize this crisis are not out of proportion, man. They're moving with that Revelation 12 and 12 spirit, man. Go ahead.
Verse 5, He also, because he transgressed about wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. And
that's part of Esau's problem he's running into, man. He overextended his reach. He tried to do too goddamn much, man.
That's right.
And he tried to do too much with a flawed system, a flawed spirit, a flawed mentality. Just a flawed everything, man. He's just a defect.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
And that's part of your problem, man. Esau gathered all nations, including the chosen people of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And now Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is like, okay, like, I got my people trying to get right under the pastors and teachers and apostles that I set up for them, the priests and kings, future kings I set up for them, beginning, of course, with Yahweh Shai. He's like, okay, now, we're getting close and close to the time of our redemption, man. Our redemption draweth nigh. So a part of Esau's problem, in which he can't solve this problem, man, is what he did to the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, over millennium, over centuries, man.
That's right.
Since the beginning of time, if you understand, before the lineage was actually established through the flesh of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, even going to the garden, Cain and Abel, to this day. Same just spirit of hating, man, just hating, just can't get what's programmed. And Jake, got drunk off that wine, off that false philosophy. But now we sobering up, man. We sobering up to the true way of us to conduct and us to to live and dwell on the earth that Yahweh created for our sakes. Go ahead.
Verse 6, should not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay.
Hey, you can go into that.
That word thick clay is a bagyat, which means debt. And we started to see that, the United States government is $23 trillion in debt. And now they're trying to make a stimulus package. If you can't pay attention, if you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Israelite foreigners can't pay attention, the United States government is at its end, because they're trying to bail out companies, but at the same time they're trying to figure out a way how to help out you so-called middle class Americans, and that's most of you Jakes, man. If you're not below the poverty line, but this man has racked up so much debt that he can't figure out what to do. So it's going to go to a point where this stimulus bill is going to actually amount to another digital currency, which is the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, man. And 2/3 of our people, they don't pay attention to biblical prophecy. They just pay attention to the singing and dancing. But then they believe in their government so much that they're going to pay attention to Esau and how he's going to paint this digital currency, because it's to a point where, the fiat currency is being passed out, and it's so-called infected with coronavirus that they have no choice but to go to the House of Congress to decide these things, man.
And that's bullshit, man.
That's right.
All right. The only virus that the FRNs of America have is fucking a botched virus, man. It ain't worth a goddamn thing.
That's right.
And going to the parable too in that 6th verse, that's really another reason too, because the elder Yashimamba and the elder brother Bakari Kwan from England did that algorithm video, and the part of their simulation they did was one strategy that they were going to use in the event something like that happened, something like what's going on has happened, is to flood the media. That's why you see a constant theme of coronavirus, because they're trying to pump it into the people's minds, so that's really all they can think about. They become paralyzed by so-called information overload. Okay, and then from there they can pretty much do and control the people however they want, because they're paralyzed, especially in a time where they cut off the sports, cut off the entertainment, cut off the concerts. People that are stuck at home and all they're hearing is coronavirus. If you do go to work, if you one of the few that are going to work, that's all everybody's talking about, coronavirus. So it's like just beating them in their head, man. And meanwhile, he's working on the background, trying to enlarge what's not his, trying to transgress with that line, like he always does. At the end of the day, it's just furthering Esau going down to his destruction.
That's right, because a lot of people don't figure out. They're trying to, even though they shut down the NHL, the NFL, MLB, the 2020 Olympics, people are still trying to cling on to that. That's why they're still showing. If you go on YouTube, man, and your page, they're still trying to show games from like fucking 2003 when Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash was playing in Dallas. They're still trying to hang on. The scriptures say the adventure shall fail. So they're still trying to play these old games, but you got to pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. See what's going on with your country. All right, if you claim you're American, which we don't claim we're Americans, man. We're just like Paul. All right, we claim the citizenship, but we're really at the end of the day, we're Israelites. So you got to pay attention to what's going on in world affairs. And majority of our people, they're not paying attention to Al Jazeera or any of these alternative media sources where is really giving in you the deal. And if you pay attention to these alternative media sources, they're not talking about soccer and cricket, which is a really sport of these worlds outside of Babylon, America. They're paying attention to what's going on, like real political issues. So for you so-called Americans, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that say you're Americans, you need to get your head out your ass and stop paying attention to the sports and Stephen A. Smith trying to reclaim what's going on. Fuck what's going on with Tom Brady and trying to come to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or that Edomite, the guy that played for the Chargers. He plays for the Colts now.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, man, forget all that shit, man. They're not gonna play. The way how it's looking now, man, it's not gonna be another down in the National Football League, man. So it's a high time for you to wake out of sleep, man. Get that coal out your eye and start paying attention to what's really going on, man. Because we're at the time where the Lord is establishing His kingdom, and He's gonna send His Son Yahushua to bring forth that judgment. And you don't want to get caught up in the bad side of that judgment, man. But our people need to just. That's why we keep putting on these lessons, man. You just need to wake up, man. Like, know what's going on, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people, Jay be scared too. You know what I'm saying? All they know is Esau. They just trusting their oppressor.
Yeah.
Continuing on, it says, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer,
That devil, them devils.
yeah, they all together, man.
Yeah,
And Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, the top White House negotiator, all said they expected resolution soon. However, as evening arrived, lawmakers were still engaged in protracted haggling among themselves and with Trump administration officials in hopes for a Tuesday night vote dissipated. And it's like, yo, like, how quick do you expect motherfuckers to be able to spend $2 trillion?
Yeah.
Like, they're talking about spending $2 trillion in the American public because they so impatient. They so, like, brain dead. It's like they want it now. Like, don't you think that your leader should take a couple of days at least to, like, figure out how to spend $2 trillion?
Yeah.
But that's just people have goldfish brains, man.
And that's added up to that thick clay, man, because they just decided to move on something without considering any counsel or any advisors, and then just make a movement. And then you Americans, you got that microwave mentality where I need it now. You know, I need a check now, not considering the consequences. This stimulus package can bring about the mark of the beast, man. All right, when you people are desperate and you have you don't know the herbs, you don't know the berries, you don't know how to. Even if you got a pack of celery in your refrigerator, all right, for the men that's in the herbs, man, they're a lot better than you Americans, man, because you Americans eat a lot of junk food. You got a snack demon on you. All right, you want the fast food. You drink the fluoridated water. You get the chemtrail sprayed over your head every day. You're not considering how long it's going to take and what you got to do. Because if you haven't figured out with this American society, this Babylon society, if they throw something at you, it's got to be some type of payback that you have to take, man.
Right.
You know, especially now with the stimulus package, do you not consider, hey, look, there's going to be a consequence if I take this, man. And what's linked up to it is that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, but our people and these other Babylonians or these other nations, they don't consider what's going on nowadays. They just, hey, fuck it, I'm not working. You know, I need to check. I need to take the stimulus package, man, and see what's going on. That goes into trusting in the shadow of Egypt in Isaiah the 30th chapter, man. And we know that costs a lot for our people, man, because they don't consider it.
Matter of fact, since you said that, get Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Alright. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
See, the gift destroys the heart, like the brother said. You know, Jake be thinking about all the goodies. And I want you to read verse 8 too. Jake be thinking about all the goodies that he gonna get, and he paid reverence to Esau Edom instead of the Creator, man. You know, and Jake really look at Esau Edom as a fucking God, man, as an authority. You know what I'm saying? Now, and that also go into one of the powers that Esau has right now, man. Esau has a very deceptive spirit. You know what I'm saying? He's able to design a web in which entraps the people, and it's really through them gifts. It entraps the people, and you know, he creates a nice, cozy environment for them for the most part. Or if it gets too uncomfortable, he gives them enough space to be unruly.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he get like shit. It's a lot of niggas that, man, that, you know, trap for years and years and years to get out the game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats that, you know, got in and got out. You know what I'm saying? Because of really the lawlessness of the mentality of Esau. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as your enterprise isn't slowing my enterprise down, then I'm gonna let you do what the fuck you gonna do.
That's
you know what I'm saying? But they go into the gift that destroy the heart, because meanwhile, not only is Jake putting too much authority into the hand of the oppressor, Edom Esau, which they're the basis of men, they're also not considering that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is actually the forces and entities that are supplying everything that we need.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 8, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
And that's what we have to have patience in, man. We have to have patience that, yeah, you know, we feel the oppression, but really day by day, we're coming closer and closer to salvation. Man. We're getting closer and closer to the point that this is all gonna be over with, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna actually be able to, you know, enjoy our families. We're gonna have our women. We're gonna have our kids. We're gonna have our lands. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be able to rest. We're gonna actually have the time to rest, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna, you know, be able to enjoy the servitude of, you know, the heathens, have the riches, you know, and the fatness, and also be one with our maker, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. What more could you ask for? Go ahead.
Continuing on, it says, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
See, and that's really one quality that we have to overcome, that Edom Esau has. Edom Esau, of course, we know has a very proud spirit. So overcoming that pride, a good way to do that is actually through patience.
Right.
Matter of fact, read that again. Oh, sure.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 8, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
See, it's like, why is that back to back? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you read scripture, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But sometimes it's like, well, why did Yahweh Hashem Yahushua put the spirit, you know, on the preacher to put those two, you know, qualities back to back? Because they oppose each other, man. If you proud, you don't really have a big need to be patient. You just go out there and do the shit, man. I got this, and man, I'm moving, man. I'm making it happen, man. But if you're patient, it's a lot more methodical, a lot more meticulous, all right, a lot more thought-provoking. You know what I'm saying? More consequential. You know, you understand that, you know, the consequences of this action is, you know, can be this. The consequences of this action can be that. It's way more consequential, man. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we have to wait for our Lord, Yahweh Shai to come and, you know, destroy this place physically anyway. We have to wait until our Lord rises to the prey. But at the same time, it's like, man, like, hey, man, we're like we talk about, man, we're literally watching the fall of our greatest enemy. This is his last kingdom. We are literally, excuse me, that cayenne pepper's coming back up, man. We're literally on deck. We're literally up next. We are literally in the times when we ready to have good too. We're literally in the times that every prophet of old, even though it's gonna hurt, you know, it's gonna hurt in the flesh. But every prophet of old would like die to be in these times. We may have died to be in these times. So it's like, all right, man, just embrace, the patience, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, stuff get a little sticky around you. You know what I'm saying? Get you, get you a little yan, get you a nice little meal. If you deal with, with a rib, deal with your woman, man. Like, shit, the whole nation going through it, man. But we gotta be the men, we gotta be the pillars of the scripture speak about.
That's right.
Any more on that?
Let's end on that.
Okay.
But I got, well, I'm gonna go to verse 9.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 7:9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
Even with the 2/3, man. You can't be hasty to be angry at Jake, man. Jake, bro, like, we already understand that 2/3 of our people ain't gonna make it. Like, you're gonna focus on, like, y'all niggas this, y'all niggas can't get it. Bashing their head against the wall and shit. Like, bro, like, most of our people ain't gonna get it. That's why we're, Lord willing, part of the remnant.
Right.
If we're not for a remnant, the Most High will destroy this entire place, man.
I got another precept for that. This is Exodus 14:14. The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah, shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Because, brothers are still working, man. You might have to deal with a demon at your job or a demon in your life. It's like Apostle Bar did in his live stream today. If you catch a hell, it might be from your mother, your woman, your auntie, some type of woman that's in your life. You're going to catch some type of hell, man. But you got to let the Lord fight for you, man. You might not necessarily put curses on this particular person or woman. A lot of brothers come into this truth thinking it's just about putting curses on Jake 24/7. You be like, Yahweh Shemel Shai, Shalak Rahim. You be going on and on. But as time progresses, you're like, look, I'm just going to let the Lord fight that. Whatever obstacle I'm going through, I put my trust in the Lord. I'm not going to get angry about this situation. And that's the thing that what proselytes hitting this truth, or you've in this thing a year or a year and a half, 2 years, you don't want to get too angry, man. We're in a time of rejoicing, but at the same time, we got to watch as well as pray. But at the same time, getting overly angry about these Jakes out here and getting mad about what Jake is doing. The scriptures in second Ezra 9 says, "Be not over." Matter of fact, I'm gonna get it, man.
Yeah.
This is second Ezra chapter 9. I think verse 13. Second Ezra 9:13. It says, "And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished." And there's a lot of punishments that's coming to the wicked, man, the ungodly. And when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. So you got to get caught up into making sure your lessons are edifying. You can't just always condemn. This 2/3 nigga, this 2/3 nigga, that. You gotta actually have lessons to where you teach the 1/3 of Israel, man. So you can't get caught up in that.